You're listening to a mini episode of the Practical Permaculture Podcast.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to another mini episode of the Practical Permaculture Podcast. Coming up very soon is July, and a lot of people do the Plastic Free July challenge and start trying to figure out how to reduce their waste a little bit and take steps towards reducing their plastic consumption or usage. So, I thought I'd jump on and give you 10 simple things to do so that you can pick a couple and start that journey yourself. So, the first one is avoiding waste on the go. So, invest in some bags. There's some really cool calico bags. There's boomerang bags, which I don't know if people have heard of, where they make these bags. Often local groups do it. Obviously, there's paper bags that you can get from the big stores, but if you have something that you can take with you and get into the habit of doing, that will save a lot of soft plastic in your week. Number two, using soap bars instead of a pump soap. So that's a pretty easy swap. Stop buying pump soap that has plastic on the outside, that might have plastic wrapping around the top and the foil lids with plastic on it. If you just get a bar of soap, it's quite easy, quite simple. Get a nice little dish for it. This one got me for a little while because I didn't like the dirtiness, like how a soap bar leaves marks and it's kind of untidy, and the kids can get really challenged by using it. But I persevered, and we now use bar soap to wash our hands. So that's a quick and easy swap, especially if you don't mind the mindset swap around doing it, unlike me. Number three, stop to shop local and to buy in bulk. So we've all seen those bulk stores that you can get food from. There's actually one online that I've been eyeing off as well, that you can actually, they send you, it must be fabric of some kind, and it's got a Velcro top, and you can actually buy the bags, buy the projects, and then you can send the bags back. So I'll find that website link, because I actually can't remember off the top of my head what it's called, but there's also Source and Bulk Foods and all those other bulk stores. So if you can buy there and either use paper bags or take your own jars, that's a big step in reducing a lot of plastic and waste. And this can be hard for a lot of people. So that's why the online option is really, really cool. And I'd love to investigate that further myself, because our bulk food store is about half an hour away. So, that can be a bit of a barrier, the travel time. It's not really near other things for me that I will be getting anyway. So it's like a day trip to kind of, or a morning trip at least, to go out there. And with the kids, bulk food stores can be a bit challenging because they just want to open all the little lids and get the scoops. I've been there, understand. It can be a biggie. So that's one to consider. Um, this might surprise some people, but number 4 is wait to throw away your plastic products. So if you've got plastic products and you do want to replace them, just finish using them first, or use them till the end of their lifespan, because chucking more plastic in landfill straight away or isn't a great option. Like, yes, we're going to replace it with glass or something as an alternative, but while it has a good life and while it's still useful, don't go chucking stuff out just for the sake of it. Use the plastic to the end of its life, whether that's Tupperware, whether that's a container you have, whether that's a pump soap you have. Use it to the end of its life and give it the highest purpose possible, because it's already there. So you may as well use it while you got it, and then slowly replace it. Number 5, spread the word. Actually, just having these conversations is really good. Reminding each other, reminding our friends, maybe posting about it on social media, whatever floats your boat. But spread the word and try and get the word out there for Plastic Free July, and how people can be doing simple swaps, not just in July, but all year round. Number 6, avoiding prepackaged meats. So it is very, very simple to go to the deli or to go to the big cold section and buy meat that's cryovac. It's convenient. They often have really good specials, so it can be really hard to say no to prepackaged meat. But as much as possible, going to your local butcher and being able to get them to put it in some paper bag for you and to take that home. I know some butchers can be really funny about you taking like a Tupperware container for the meat to go in, but that's a conversation you can have with your local butcher, especially if you've already been buying there for a little while. You're a regular, they see your face and they get to know you. Number 7, pick up some rubbish. Just going out there and reducing the amount of plastic that's floating around the world, that gets into our oceans, flies up into the air and gets taken into the environment. Just picking up some rubbish is a really good, simple step to help during this plastic-free July. Number 8, opting for paper bags at the big supermarkets. So that doesn't mean paper bags at the checkout. I mean, go and look for the mushrooms and find those paper bags. And if you're going to buy grapes, put them in a paper bag. Or if you're going to buy apples and you don't want them to roll around, put them in a paper bag. I know the paper has to come from somewhere, but at least if we're eliminating our plastic usage to start with, it will start sending a message to the big shops. That's not what we want. They'll stop wrapping things in plastic, they'll stop providing plastic, and they'll start getting rid of all these plastic bags. Number 9, some local cafes have been doing this around here, so I thought it would be a good thing to bring up, and that is to find a bring, borrow, or stay cup exchange, or perhaps even suggest one to your cafe. So what you can do is, what they do is the cafe, they often have a table or a shelf with mugs, cups that they found at secondhand stores or people donate or whatever the situation is. And you can actually then borrow a mug and bring it back, or you can bring your own mug like people do with Keep Cups. So look for an exchange. If you don't have one near you, maybe suggest it to cafe owners, maybe volunteer to get it up and running. Get some people to donate some mugs. It might be a cool little thing that you can do at your local cafe for when you go and have a cup of coffee. Or better yet, just take 10 minutes and sit down and actually enjoy the cup of coffee. I know I love having coffee in my morning drive, but for sure, to sit down and have a cup of coffee will be reducing the amount of plastic that is out there. And my last tip, number 10, is avoid the overwhelm. So as much as we want to do all of these things during Plastic Free July, and just in general, if we try and implement too many things at once, we are setting ourselves up for failure. I read the new Milkwood Permaculture book, and the whole book is about implementing habits. And she's obviously linked them to permaculture and linked them to each of the 12 permaculture principles, which is a really cool read, especially if you are wanting to make some changes. But one of her messages in the beginning of the book is to just pick 1 or 2 things and do it, and then make it a habit. Take the 40 days or the 40 times it takes to do that thing, to make it habitual, to make it easy, and to make it feel easeful in your day and your week. Then pick up another one. Don't pick 10 things or 20 things or uproot your entire life to try and make these changes, because you are setting yourself up to fail. Pick 1 or 2 things and implement them hard. Do it properly, and then you can integrate more later down the track. I know it's very tempting to just get swept up and to do all the things, but simple and slow solutions like permaculture teaches us is sometimes the best way. So have a think about what 1 or 2 things that you could implement from our 10 things that we are considering during Plastic Free July to help reduce our waste. I hope you enjoyed this short little episode. Next week, we'll be bringing you a homesteading mini series. So next week, we will be starting off our mini series for homesteading. We have 5 episodes, I think, off the top of my head, with all different topics that are all related to homesteading. So we're going to do a whole chunk of episodes, of mini episodes dedicated to homesteading. We're starting it off with a bang this Friday by interviewing Amanda Paris, who is the head, or the admin, I should say, of the Australian Homesteading Community Facebook group. She is epic. That page is epic. And then we're going to roll on through all the minis and talk about homesteading for the next 5 or so weeks. So we hope you can join us for our little series. And if you have any questions, comments, things we need to talk about, things you want us to talk about, let us know in the comments and we can get recording. Thanks. Thanks for listening to the Practical Permaculture podcast. Jump onto our Facebook group to keep the chat going and to look for any resources that we mentioned on today's show. Look in the show notes.
And if you liked the episode today, then subscribe. Please give us a review and share. And if you didn't, then that's okay. We'll sure you'll find the right podcast for you.
Bye.
Bye.